Disclaimer. This episode contains graphic descriptions of violence that may be disturbing to some listeners. Please be advised.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Wait, start again. I sound way
Okay.
too much like
Ready, set, what's up?
you. Hey.
Oh, you took mine.
Stole it. Yoink.
Stole my
Mine.
what's up.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Amanda.
Taylor
And I
just ruined
stole
everything.
Amanda's what's up.
Oh, she did.
It sounded
so
way
sad.
It sounded way cooler than my hello. So then I was like, shit, I'm gonna take that.
What's up?
I go first. So
What's up?
scoop.
Swipe. Swipe or no swiping.
Oh, sorry. Oh God, Dora the Explorer. Before we even tell you what this podcast is,
It's about Dora the Explorer.
yep, you just tuned in to the Dora Explorer podcast. But no, this is called Pop Crime and Wine, and we do some pop crime shit and some
Pop crime shit. We do pop culture, true crime, and some
Pop
other
crime
shit, apparently.
Also, we had wine before this.
Oh no.
Pre-wine.
There's that.
So
It's gonna be a
Welcome,
very
everyone.
entertaining episode.
Buckle up, okay?
buckle.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Yes.
I don't know why I got kind of Jamaican. Actually, I had a Jamaican Lyft driver last night.
Was he from a Jamaican bobsled team?
No,
Oh, man.
not everybody is.
I think that they
She
should
was super
be.
nice though.
Did you tell him that you love the movie Cool Runnings?
No,
It is a good
that would've
movie.
been- I didn't even know. Like I could hear like maybe just a little hint of an accent, but I couldn't tell. So I was like, you know. Okay, so this week we're sponsored by my best friend,
Rude.
Haley Doll.
Oh yeah, wait a second.
Sorry guys, she's known me forever and ever.
Fine.
It's from
Amanda,
good old
you're my
Wisconsin.
best
Yeah,
friend.
you're my best friend too.
My best friend
Taylor.
ever.
Yeah.
Mandy
Okay.
over there,
You guys
you
are
know,
so
Over
funny.
there
You're so good.
alone.
whatever. She's cool.
She's
She's got her
Haley.
own best friend.
She's not
Up
in
in
the club.
Wisconsin.
P.S. Marjorie and Melissa, you guys are still my best friend.
I was just kidding. It was just a
I
joke.
was just kidding. I take it back.
Anyway, so Haley Doll, she is sponsoring this episode with Paranoia wine.
It's a real creepy bottle.
I know there's like a holographic label. I really liked it. It is a cab from California.
Yes.
2015.
The holographic label has eyes, and they're like looking back and forth
Yeah,
when
they-
you
it's
shift the bottle. It's really cool.
It's creepy.
Ooh.
I don't
I
like
know.
it. I don't like it, and I love it.
Also, I
dreams
dropped
about
it in the driveway and it didn't break. So I just want to say that
Resilient.
this is some solid wine. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop it probably.
Pop it
Into
close to the
the
mic,
microphone.
please.
This ain't my first rodeo.
You went over
You
to
went
the
up.
left, so
to get a better grip on it. Shut up.
yeah, that's okay.
Go away.
It was a really like smooth pop. I liked it. Yeah. Pop.
All right. Thank you, Haley,
Thank you so much,
for
Haley.
giving us
Thanks,
this
Haley.
You're the best
creepy-ass
ever.
wine bottle.
And you're such a babe.
Such a babe.
She really is. You guys should go follow her on Instagram.
It smells
What's her
really good.
Instagram?
At H
Hal Ray.
Halray. Thank
Hal
you.
Ray,
I'm
yeah.
glad you know.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm
hey,
like,
Haley. You want a new best friend? It's Amanda over here.
She would never. It's Hal
You
Ray.
can call me Mandy too if you want.
No, wait.
Like HALRAE.
Hold on. No, it's not.
Yeah. Hal like underscore Ray
No.
or something.
Did she change it?
She unfollowed you.
Oh, shut up. No, she changed it. It's hhal.rray.
Oh.
So it's like HHAL.RR.
Why would she make it so hard for people to
Yeah.
find her?
Well, she's also a social worker.
That's probably why.
So, but anyway, she's a badass. So, and she's my
babe,
best
and
friend.
she has a great taste in wine because this
does.
one's delicious.
It is really good.
BAMFer.
It's a little bit lighter than the
Previous wine that
had
we drank?
before
It has,
this.
yeah, it has a very berry taste to
Yeah,
it
it
to me.
smells like grapes more.
That's
I know
your
that I
go-to.
say that,
Yeah,
but
you've said it before.
because it does. Like, it actually smells
This
like
one
grapes.
tastes like some
Okay.
sort of
It
grapes.
smells and tastes like grapes.
It says, enjoy this Paranoia Cabernet Sauvignon with beef stroganoff, prime rib, or a simple blue cheeseburger. Because blue cheeseburgers are simple.
I feel like this would taste delicious with a blue cheeseburger.
Yes, or like a wedge.
I've never wanted a blue cheeseburger more than I
Then
do right at this
I kind
very
of really want a
second.
wedge salad right now.
Ooh, I could go for that too. I'm really hungry.
I'm going to be
Me
100%
too.
honest, you guys. A couple nights ago, I got Postmates from Jack in the Box.
Did you get
Shut
the
your
tacos?
And I
face.
got
What?
the burger.
I've
I
never
got a
had
burger
would you
and a
do
shake.
that?
You should have definitely gotten the tacos because that's the best.
But
thing
I
the
was
Jack in the
craving a
Box has.
cheeseburger, and that's all I wanted, and it was delicious.
And you
Worth
paid
it?
like 3 times what it's worth.
Yes.
But it was
Sorry,
worth it.
Nathan. I promise I'm making better financial decisions than that. But it was one of those things where it's like between treat yourself and I don't have any money. And treat
Like,
yourself
I'm gonna
one.
treat myself, but
A little bit.
with
Treat
Jack
yourself
in
to
the
this
Box.
fast food that
Yeah.
usually costs $3, but I'm going to pay
Yeah,
10.
but that was it. For sure. Okay, so we're gonna start again with crime and then move on to our other topic of pop.
And if you guys skipped last week's episode and just jumped to this one, we did start trying it a little bit different. We are doing the crime first. And so we are just waiting to hear from you to let us know whether you like it or not. So slide into our DMs
Slide into them DMs,
Slide right into
girl.
those DMs.
and
Boy.
let us know.
And boy,
And I was like,
the one guy
"Hey,
that
you wanna-"
listens to this podcast,
There's a couple.
I was like,
boys.
for sure.
well, Nathan listens to it.
I'm
over in
glad.
Poland.
Nathan listens to it. Mark listens to it. We got to get Sam into it.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't even follow us on Instagram.
He does now.
He does now.
Did
after
you
we
take
yelled at
his
him.
phone and follow us from his
No,
account?
I told him. I was like, hey,
Oh.
I need you to follow our Instagram.
At our party on
Sam
Friday
Wise.
night, he logged
And he
into
did it.
his Instagram after I was like, "Do you even know how to log into Instagram?"
Yeah, he's never
And
on
then he
it.
did.
So I don't hold it against him.
Aw.
He's not like super savvy
He's not-
with
I
the
was gonna
social
say-
media,
He's not into it.
which is probably a good thing. I
Yeah.
enjoy that about him. I think it makes him really an interesting human.
It's probably because he's not American.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, we do have issues.
yeah, I think that.
And just for anyone who wants to know, he is the voice that does our warning in the beginning
A
bit.
disclaimer.
A disclaimer. All right, so what's our crime?
So.
Crime time.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I haven't been doing the screen
No, you
for like the last
haven't.
like 6 episodes.
It's real sad.
Now I
Really-
don't even feel like doing it.
You can't do it now. You
I
got to
guess
do it
that
next
the episode
episode.
is over. Sorry, guys. Oh,
Ooh, that was weak.
I don't want to actually scream.
Try it
Our
again.
neighbors are going to call the cops.
Do it again.
do it again.
Why is it at the end? I have this
You, like,
weird,
have it,
like,
like,
Because usually
it's
when
like an
you
aha.
when you do the scream, yeah, it's more like that.
Yeah.
It's more muted. It's more like almost like a
Oh, yeah.
fake scream.
That's
Like it's
better.
not real.
Because the first couple were like, are
It was
you
more like
in
a
pain
vocal
or are you
warm-up.
enjoying it?
Yeah, like Okay, so this week the crime that I am doing is Rodney Alcala, who is also the dating game
Oh,
murderer.
I haven't heard of this
From
one.
the
Oh,
70s?
I was just talking to someone about this. Is this in California? Maybe.
Yes, it's in California.
Okay. Can I just really quickly
Yeah.
tell a side story about this?
Absolutely.
Or should I wait until the end? I don't know. Should I just
Does
do
it give
really
away any
quickly?
details about this?
About
the
well,
story?
obviously this man was a murderer.
Right.
Right. Okay. So that's the only
Okay,
detail that
yeah,
I
go
can
for
tell.
it.
So, one of my like very close like family friends was just telling me this. I was doing her hair the other day and she was like, "Yeah, I was reading this article about how this guy like murdered these people or whatever." And she like read it in a magazine and they were like, "Oh, if you know anything about this, like give us a call." And her best friend was murdered. And like the way that she was murdered was the same way that
They think that it was him.
that he murdered these other people. And she called in and left a whole long voicemail and was like, hey, I just want to say that my best friend was murdered in this similar way, and like gave a whole bunch of information and left this. And she never heard back from them. But then a month later, they had finally solved her crime, and he was the person that did it.
That's insane.
And so she was like, I think that I kind of like, she doesn't know for sure if she like
Point them
her
in the right direction or
voicemail,
something?
like, yeah, but she was able to like
Yeah.
send them to this.
Is this
like,
so? This is
That's
recent.
crazy.
Well-
no, this happened in the 70s.
Yeah, but
Oh,
she like,
okay.
but he also like murdered.
But there was a
her.
lot of, so I'll get to
Yeah.
like some details about it, but there were some cold cases that they were trying
Okay.
to figure out if they were connected.
And they
to
were,
him.
and it was like back from when she was in college and all
Oh,
this stuff.
okay.
And so like, she's my friend's mom. Her
Yeah.
husband actually married Mark and I. Like, we're really close with
Yeah.
their family. They're like our like adopted family.
That's crazy.
And
And
yeah, so
sad.
she was like telling me this whole story. We just talked about this like 2 days ago while I was doing her hair.
Well,
so
I
I'm
guess
really
great
excited.
minds,
Perfect
yeah.
timing.
This is crazy. Okay, cool. So
Okay, so Rodney
Yeah.
Alcala was Mexican American, and he lived in San Antonio, Texas. That's where he was born and raised. His father moved the family to Mexico in 1951, and then he also abandoned them 3 years later. And his mother and his 2 sisters and a brother moved to Los Angeles when he was about 11 years old. At age 17 in 1960, Rodney joined the U.S. Army and served as a clerk. In 1964, he had somewhat of a breakdown, during which he went AWOL and hitchhiked from Fort Bragg to his mother's house. And then he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder by a military psychiatrist and discharged on medical grounds. And then later on, other diagnoses were later proposed by other psychiatric experts, and they included narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, from homicide expert Vernon Geberth.
Give birth.
Geberth.
Give birth.
Malignant narcissistic personality disorder, which I don't really know what that means. Like malignant.
Malignant. That's like
Which,
a
like-
tumor that's not growing,
Correct.
right?
Well, that's not cancerous.
Not cancerous.
So you're a narcissist, but you might not be cancerous.
Interesting.
Well, malignant doesn't specifically relate to cancer. Okay. With psychopathy and sexual sadism tendencies.
So I've heard it said psychopathy and also psychopathy.
Well,
what's
yeah.
the actual real
I don't know,
way
but
of saying it?
I've heard psychopathy more.
It sounds right.
because
Sounds more right.
psychopathy just sounds like you
Sounds
don't know how to
strange.
pronounce the word.
Yeah.
Which
You're right.
has happened to me before. So
You are correct.
let's,
Can we take it back to episode, what is that, 3 or 4? When
can
you
we
said
just forget about it? Maybe.
aspartame.
aspartame.
You know, the worst part is that people that have listened to our podcast now bring it up to me
It's so
because they think it's funny.
aspartame.
It happens on the recording. Like, it wasn't that I even planned it.
She was trying to say aspartame.
They were trying to spay it.
She was trying to spay it. Listen, I'm telling you, I've already had some wine tonight.
Aspartame.
Aspartame.
And I'm pretty sure that was the first glass of wine when she said that.
Yep,
So it
yep,
wasn't
yep.
like she was just drunk.
I love bringing it back up. Okay, keep going.
Okay, keep going. But can I also just, since we've already sidebarred it, can I just talk about how this guy has like a bunch of shit going
All
on?
the
got a bunch of shit
personality
wrong with him.
issues.
Yeah.
Like-
Every single personality
Yeah.
issue you could
I
ever
feel
have.
like if you give someone all of these personality disorders, like you should probably just like put them aside.
Like,
Well,
they should
he
be.
should not live in society.
He did leave the army, and then he graduated from UCLA School of Fine Arts. He studied film at New York University.
Creepy.
But you,
So, like, he kind of, like, made his life for himself, even with all that shit going on.
and then he became a murderer.
And then he didn't, yeah, he was definitely a murderer. Like, he was a bad person from the beginning. Let me just say
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
He's an evil person.
keep going.
So,
You said he was a sadist, right?
In
Okay.
sexual sadism. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Alcala.
Wait, also, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go back to, is that where you like to, like, sexual sadism
Inflict
is when you want
pain.
to inflict it on
pain
other
on
people.
someone else.
And masochism
Masochistic
is
you
on
want it.
yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just making sure that I'm not confused.
Alcala committed his first known crime in 1968. A motorist in LA called police after watching him lure an 8-year-old girl named Tali Shapiro into his Hollywood apartment. The girl was found alive, but she was raped and beaten with a steel bar. Alcala had fled.
That's when you get put away for life. That's what you should.
Let
an
me tell
8-year-old.
you, this is frustrating to read because he kept getting let out like time after time after time. Like he got let out, and we'll
With
touch
a
on it.
Metal bar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that girl survived.
Yeah, she was
If you're
found alive.
raping 8-year-old girls, you
Most of
should
his
be in
victims
jail
were
forever.
Under 18. So anyway, he fled. He continued to evade an arrest warrant, but he left the state and enrolled in the NYU film school using the name John Berger.
God,
So that was
if you're
his-
gonna come up with a fake name,
John Berger,
Burger.
but it was Berger.
I
So it
mean, that's
wasn't-
like a normal
That's Jewish,
name.
right?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
In
Sorry
1970,
to anyone with last name
Burger, right? Fuck you! I'm giving you 1 star for making fun
For
of my
making
name.
fun of my last name.
In 1971, he obtained a counseling job at a New Hampshire arts camp for children using a slightly different alias, John Berger, spelled like a cheeseburger. I need a cheeseburger now. In June of 19...
Cheeseburger. This is why we should never have pre-wine.
In June of 1971, Cornelia Michelle Crilly, a 23-year-old TWA flight attendant, was found raped and strangled in her Manhattan apartment. Her murder went unsolved until it was connected to Alcala in 2011.
So she was the first
Murder.
She was the
murder.
first murder.
Yeah.
The FBI.
And how old was she?
She was 23.
Okay.
The FBI added Alcala to its list of 10 most wanted fugitives in early 1971. A few months later, 2 children attending the arts camp noted his... By the way, the fact that he got a job for a children's art camp, just terrifies me after he did that to that 8-year-old. Like, reading that, and I was like, seriously, even though he was using an alias, like...
Anyone who is working with children should have
Like
some
background
crazy
checks and
background
shit?
checks.
Yes, but this is not the 70s.
Can I sidebar one more time before we get back into this? Because I checked the sex offender registry today
You
and
should
looked
not
at a
have done
map.
that.
And
It's so bad.
oh god, it's so fucking scary
But
to
also-
look at a map.
They're everywhere.
It is the issue that I have with it though is that there are a lot of people that have become sex offenders for like things that aren't the same as like what
That will for
No,
what you're
I think
thinking.
the
Yeah.
categorization.
Oh, jinx.
I think that needs to be updated and changed.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
with
there
the
are
laws.
it's like a 19-year-old who was with a 17-year-old.
yeah.
Yeah,
and,
you can be a
okay,
sex offender
but-
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're right.
But then
you
like
were right about that.
pedophiles
So that
are in a
makes it-
different category.
But I
Yeah.
obviously look at it and I'm like, oh no.
Holy shit, they're
like
everywhere.
a block away and a block that way and a half a block this way. We've got them everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
that's like
scary.
that's kind of anywhere.
You can also become a sex offender for peeing in public.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Seriously.
that.
And then you
Yeah.
can get like
That's actually
barred
crazy.
from being within schools for like
Yeah.
500 feet or something within a school or a church or whatever.
There's a lot of things, and I'm like psycho about that kind of stuff, and that's why I have to like remind myself that not everybody that is like, you have to like look at that, and then you can Google what they did,
Right.
and that's how crazy I am. Is like if I ever look those things
Well,
up,
shit,
I
if
like
they live
look at
next
what
door, I
people.
might wanna know.
Yeah,
It's real
because I want to
scary.
know like why they're a sex offender.
Yes.
Because I know people that have become sex offenders for like peeing in public when they were drunk,
Right.
And it's like their whole lives are totally.
And they
like,
have to
I've
register
definitely
as
done
a sex
that.
offender everywhere they move.
Oh yeah, I've peed in like the bushes
An alleyway.
randomly. Yeah.
Oh, I've
Behind a
absolutely peed in
trash
public.
can.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Parking lots for sure.
Multiple
Between
times.
cars. Yeah.
It's happened a lot.
And you gotta go and you're drunk.
and
gotta go.
Thank
You just
God
gotta
I've
go.
never been caught doing it.
That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that was a heavy sidebar.
Yeah. Sorry.
Nice. All right, where did I leave off?
That's what I'm here for.
The arts camp.
Yes. Okay, so he was added to the list of 10 most wanted fugitives in 1971. 2 children attending the arts camp noticed his photo on an FBI poster at the post office. Alcala was arrested and extradited to California. By then, Shapiro's parents had relocated their entire family to Mexico and refused to allow her to testify at Alcala's trial, and that was the 8-year-old that was found alive. Unable to convict him of rape and attempted murder without their primary witness, prosecutors were forced to permit Alcala to plead guilty to a lesser charge of assault. Alcala was paroled after 17 months in 1974 under the indeterminate sentencing program popular at the time, which I don't know what that is, and I've watched a lot of true crime shows, and I've never heard that in indeterminate sentencing. And they mention it like 2 or 3 times in this because that's how he got out early.
Interesting.
After a couple times he was in prison. Less than 2 months after his release, he was rearrested after assaulting a 13-year-old girl identified in court records as Julie J., who had accepted what she thought would be a ride to school. But once again, he was paroled after serving 2 years of an indeterminate sentence. I don't know what that is.
Okay, so
She Googled
indeterminate imprisonment or sentencing is the imposition of a sentence by imprisonment with no definite period of time set during sentencing. Its length
just,
is
like, figure it
instead
out.
determined during imprisonment based on the inmate's conduct.
So they're like, you just go to jail, and
And
then
then
we'll figure out
however
If
you
you're good, we'll
act,
let you out.
yeah, exactly. Which they do
Wow.
that
Bullshit.
anyways, don't they? They let people out early all the time.
Well, usually they have like you get sentenced for however long, and then they're like,
You can
you
get
can either
parole
have
at
like
this point.
get parole at this point. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you can have parole at 10 years, or you can have parole like you might be sentenced for like 30 years, but then you can get parole at 10, and they'll
Yeah.
say that during sentencing. But if they don't sentence you for
But you can ask for parole or like whatever, like
You just
over and over and over,
probably
and you
won't
just
get
get
it.
denied every time. It's just like appeals, like you can appeal
Yeah.
your case. Anyway, okay. In 1977, after Alcala's second release, the LA parole officer took the usual steps of permitting a repeat offender, a known flight risk, to travel to New York City. NYPD cold case investigators now believe that a week after arriving in Manhattan, Alcala killed Ellen Jane Hover, 23, daughter of the owner of the popular Hollywood nightclub Ciro's, and goddaughter of Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr.
God, what?
what?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was brand new to me. Because I had heard about this guy just like, on true crime pages and whatever as the dating game killer or whatever.
Why do they call him the dating game
Because
killer?
he went on the dating
He
game.
was on a
Oh.
dating game. I'll show you. Yeah, I'll tell you. So her remains, Ellen Jane Hover, her remains were found buried on the grounds of the Rockefeller Estate in Westchester County. So I don't know who found them or if he told them or something where she was born or where she was born. Y'all.
Buried.
Jesus Christ in heaven. In
Says the agnostic.
Jesus, help me.
Help me,
Help me, Jesus.
Help me, Jewish God.
Help me, Tom
Oprah.
Cruise.
Oh,
Okay. In 1978, Alcala worked for a short time at the LA Times as a typesetter and was interviewed by members of the Hillside Strangler Task Force as part of their investigator of known sex offenders. Although Alcala was ruled out as the Hillside Strangler, he was arrested and served a brief sentence for marijuana possession. It's just crazy because he's a murderous asshole. During that period, Alcala convinced hundreds of young men and women that he was a professional fashion photographer and photographed them for his quote-unquote portfolio.
no.
A Times co-worker later recalled that Alcala had shared these photos with workmates. And he said, quote, "I thought it was weird, but I was young. I didn't know anything," she said. "When I asked why he took the photos, he said their moms asked him to. I remember the girls were naked." He said he was a professional, so in my mind, I was being a model for him, said a woman who allowed Alcala to photograph her in 1979. The portfolio also included spread after spread of naked teenage boys, she said. Most of the photos were sexually explicit, and most remain unidentified. And this is where your friend, Amanda, maybe came into play, because the police feared that some of the subjects may have been cold case victims. According to later trial testimony, Alcala knocked unconscious and raped 15-year-old Monique Hoyt while she was posing for photographs. So they actually took the photographs and like will use them sometimes in cold cases, cold cases. So this is where the
I doubt
dating.
that she like posed for naked photographs,
Right.
But I think that I don't exactly remember what she said to me about it, but I'm pretty sure that he was like, he acted like something.
Yeah.
And
Well, he did. I mean, this was hundreds of people that he
Yeah.
convinced that he was a real photographer.
yeah.
So anyway, so this is where the dating game comes in. So in 1978, Alcala was a contestant on the ABC game show The Dating Game. Host Jim Lang introduced him as a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the darkroom at age 13, fully developed. Between takes, you might find him skydiving or motorcycling.
How do you go on the dating game if you've murdered someone?
Because they didn't
They
do
don't
any
know.
background checks.
Even if they did a background check, they wouldn't see murder there.
Yeah,
Well,
he was like,
And I think, no, he was going by his real name. I thought maybe he was going by his
The burger?
yeah.
Cheeseburger?
So actor Jed Mills also competed in as Bachelor number 2, and he later described Alcala as very strange guy with bizarre opinions. Alcala won a date with the Bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw, who subsequently refused to go out with him, according to reports, because she found him creepy.
Ooh.
Criminal, so she knew.
So was
how did
was
he
he
win?
behind the scenes? How did it work?
They didn't have a whole lot on the whole like actual dating game, but I know that it was like they had a bachelorette or whatever like behind a screen, and then she would ask the guys questions. So she would ask like they had 3 bachelors, and she would ask them questions like
so he won, and then she realized that he was creepy.
and then
afterwards.
backstage when they were talking afterwards, and he was like trying
She
to
was
schedule
like,
a date.
"He's
She
creepy."
was like, "I'm not doing
Yeah.
this."
He was also like a narcissist and a sociopath, basically.
So she knew something was off.
yeah.
People could tell that he was
you
weird. Like
you never know though.
you never know. I mean, he was on a dating game, so he must have had some sort of charm to be on it.
Yeah, people.
Yeah.
And I
And
mean,
he
he
was
was
somewhat
able to,
attractive?
He was
Okay,
somewhat.
I'm
He
gonna
is somewhat
Google it
attractive.
right
Like
meow.
and he also like was a popular photographer. Like he was able to talk people into like taking
Yes.
pictures and doing like. So he
Very
must have been
manipulative.
like a very likable guy or something.
yes,
Oh god, he looks kind of like Fabio.
yeah.
let me
He had like the long hair, like very 70s.
Oh,
Interesting.
So he
Like
could,
looking at pictures of him now,
He
I'm
looks
like,
like-
ooh.
he looks
but
like Weird Al Yankovic.
back
Yeah,
then
with curly
he
hair.
had like great hair.
Yeah.
Really great hair.
And a good tan. You
But
can tell he's from
but
California.
now he is
He's
not
terrifying
aged too good, too great.
okay. So Cheryl Bradshaw refused to go out with him because she found him creepy. Criminal profiler Pat Brown noting that Alcala killed at least 3 women after this dating game appearance, speculated that Bradshaw's rejection might have been a factor in him going the opposite way and killing 3 people immediately after this. Might have been a trigger for him to do that. One wonders what that did in his mind, Brown said. That is something that he would not take too well. Serial killers don't understand rejection. They think that something is wrong with that girl. She played me. She played hard to get. That was quoted. Enter Robin Samso. A 12-year-old girl from Huntington Beach disappeared somewhere between the beach and her ballet class on June 20th, 1979. And then her decomposing body was found 12 days later in the LA foothills. Samso's friends told police that a stranger had approached them on the beach and asked to take their pictures. Detectives circulated a sketch of the photographer, and Alcala's parole officer recognized him. And then during a search of Alcala's mother's house, they found a rental receipt for a storage locker in Seattle. And then they went to that locker and they found Samso's earrings. So they automatically connected him. Alcala was arrested in late 1979 and held without bail. In 1980, he was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death for Samso's murder, but the verdict was overturned by the California Supreme Court because jurors had been improperly informed of his prior sex crimes. In 1986, after a second trial virtually identical to the first except for omission of the prior criminal record testimony, he was again convicted and sentenced to death. a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals panel nullified the second conviction, in part because a witness was not allowed to support Alcala's contention that the park ranger who found Samso's body had been, quote, hypnotized by police investigators. So he was just trying to discredit the person that found the body and assumed that it was him that did it or something. So this is some more victims that were found out about later on. While preparing the third prosecution in 2003, Orange County investigators learned that Alcala's DNA sampled under new state law matched semen left at the rape murder scenes of 2 women in LA, and additional evidence, including another cold case DNA match in 2004, led to Alcala's indictment for the murders of 4 additional women. Jill Barcombe, 18 years old, a New York runaway found rolled up like a ball in an LA ravine.
What?
She was found rolled up. Like, her body was just, like, rolled up into a ball
Oh my God.
in a ravine in 1977. But it went unsolved until 2004. And then Georgia Wickstead, who was 27, she was bludgeoned in her Malibu apartment in 1977. Charlotte Lamb, who was 31, was raped, strangled, and left in the laundry room of an apartment complex in 1978. And Jill Parenteau, who was 21, who was killed in her Burbank apartment in 1979. And all of the bodies were found, quote, posed in carefully chosen positions. Another pair of earrings found in Alcala's Seattle storage locker had residue that matched Lamb's DNA.
That carefully positioned, it reminds me of that British or Irish or Scottish, or it's like a UK television show with Jamie Dornan. Is his name Dornan?
Okay.
He was the guy from 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah.
But he was in it, and he was a serial killer, and he would like paint their nails.
Yes.
And he would like pose them after he murdered them.
I do remember
and
that,
it's
actually.
super creepy, but it was a great show.
I've seen
Called The
that.
Fall, I think.
They've done that on episodes of like Criminal Minds and stuff too.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, maybe
It
that's
creeps
what I'm
me
thinking
out.
of.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because, like, you have to be so disconnected from humanity at that point that you can take
To
someone's
take
dead
10
body
minutes to like paint their nails
and, like, pose their hair and do their makeup or
But
something.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
so weird.
also I think that's the fact that he had this signature was
Yeah.
why they were able to find like connect so many murders. Like,
Right.
and that's how my friend was able to be like, oh, well, my friend was killed this way, and like this is what they found, and that was how they were able to connect this as well.
Yeah.
So he was so much of an asshole that while he was in prison, he wrote a self-published book called I'm not even going to tell you what
Of
it's called.
course he did.
No, I will, because you can just Google it.
Just tell us.
It's called You, the Jury. He claimed innocence in the Samso case and suggested a different suspect. Just,
course.
take attention off of himself. And then he filed 2 lawsuits against the California penal system for a slip and fall incident and for refusing to provide him a low-fat diet. Like, how much of an asshole
You murdered a bunch of people,
can you be?
but
And he's
you want a
like-
low-fat diet.
Yes. So he
Gotta
sued
keep
them.
up the appearance, which is also really scary to think about, is that he's like such
So
a normal
disconnected.
looking human. Like he's in fact, like back then he was, with the flowy hair
Yeah.
and he was an attractive dude.
Yeah.
When you think about serial killers, you think of like these really creepy guys who can't get women.
Right.
I assume he probably didn't have any issues with that because he was on the
Like
dating
Ed
game.
Kemper.
Or Ted Bundy.
Or Ted Bundy, yeah.
But Ted
or
Bundy was
my
supposedly
favorite,
attractive.
Ed Kemper
Ramirez.
was.
Ramirez. Yeah. Not David.
Oh, are you saying like Ed
Not
Kemper
David.
is one that like you?
Richard.
That's what you picture.
That's what you picture.
Yeah.
With the stash and the like oversized glasses and like just awkward.
And
Yeah.
yeah. But people trusted him enough to get in his car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was like more of a big teddy bear.
he was
kinda.
well spoken too. Like
Yeah.
I guess
He's so
was very good,
intelligent.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then the attractive ones, you're like, what?
yeah.
I mean, can you imagine
Like,
going
I don't
on a
know-
date
I
with
don't know
someone?
why. Why do we think that attractive people aren't murderers? Because that's just not. That's plain not true.
I don't, because, I mean, they have like
I personally think everyone is a murderer.
Is it?
so.
That's true. After what we watch and listen to.
Yeah.
I do
Anyway,
feel
I
like
do not discriminate.
listening to all these crime podcasts and watching all these like specials, it changes the way I live my everyday life. Honestly,
Oh, totally.
it makes me more paranoid. Thank you for the wine,
Yeah.
Haley.
Paranoia.
Paranoia.
That was weird.
But really, like I'm for sure more paranoid.
Oh, I look around everywhere I go. I also try and like smile at people that look like they're like
Murderers?
no, that look like they're not murderers. I try and like look at everyone in the room and look for like the nicest, sweetest people, which are usually women, even though there are women serial killers.
Yes.
So like they're
Few
not
and
even
far between,
Not
safe.
though.
too many.
Not as many, but I look for someone and I smile at them and I'm like, "Hi, nice to see you," so that if I do get murdered, they'll remember me in that room and I'll like make an impression. So that they can be like, "Oh, I remember her. She left with this
smiled at
guy,"
me.
or like she was around this person, or like
But then you think of that the crime that I did, the Tim McLean, where they were on the bus and he smiled at him.
and then
And then he
got
murdered
And
him.
then
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you
like-
shouldn't smile at people. I don't know.
I
There's
don't
no
know.
way.
Then
Like
it's
either
like they
You're either
think that,
inviting
like,
it.
you
Yeah.
connect with that person or something, and then they're like, that's it. Now I'm in love with that person. I'm gonna stalk them until I can figure out where they live and all this stuff.
And eat their eyelids.
oh
Wow.
yeah. Okay, keep going.
She gave me a nice smirk.
Eat your eyelids.
So in 2003, prosecutors entered a motion to add the 4 newly discovered victims to the charges that were already against Alcala. Obviously, his attorneys contested it, saying, if you're a juror and you hear one murder case, you may be able to have reasonable doubt. But it's very hard to say you have reasonable doubt on all 5, especially when 4 of the 5 aren't alleged by eyewitnesses, but are proven by DNA matches.
Oh,
So
shit.
basically, he's like, yeah, I mean, there's DNA evidence on these murder cases, so obviously you're not going to have any
done did it.
reasonable doubt.
Yeah. He done did it.
So this is something that I, for some reason in my head, sounds funny. He was his own defense for the 3rd trial,
Of course he was.
but
Because he thought that he was
would
gonna
ask
get off
himself
with it.
questions and refer to himself as Mr. Alcala, but in a deeper voice.
Oh God.
Like he
So
was like
he's
literally,
crazy.
yes, like he was like talking to himself, but in a different voice, and then answering them in his normal voice. So anyway, during all of this questioning and weirdness, he told the jurors, often in a rambling monotone voice, that he was at Knott's Berry Farm applying for a job as a photographer at the time Samso was kidnapped. And then he showed the jury a portion of the appearance that he had on the dating game in an attempt to prove that the earrings found in his Seattle locker were his, not Samso's.
What?
So I guess he was trying to say that, like,
He's like, I wear earrings too.
right, that he, like, they
Did
might
he-
have been his.
Did he
They-
actually have his ears pierced?
I don't
was
know.
Was that a legit argument?
Oh, he said he told a reporter that earrings were not yet a socially acceptable piece of jewelry for men in 1978. Quote, I had never seen a man with an earring in his ear. He said I would never notice them on him.
The 70s, man. Like,
I thought people wore earrings in the 70s. I mean, I wasn't around back then, so I don't know.
I would feel like they would be open and okay with it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that they're super chill? Everybody's on drugs. They all wear earrings.
yeah.
So fast forward through a couple more court dates, some new victims from photographs. There was about 120 photographs that they used in evidence to try to identify the victims and match them up with missing persons cases or cold case files. So fast forward to 2016.
What?
So he was trying. They were trying to try him in these other murder cases, from some of them all over the country. And he was 73, and he was reportedly too ill to make the journey from California to Wyoming, which is where the new murder case was going to be held, to stand trial for the new charges. So he remained in California State Prison, and he's pending further appeals of his death sentence.
Still?
Still. And that was as of 2016.
Man.
Yeah, he'll probably die in jail.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
he's
I hope it's
definitely-
awful.
He might have already died. We don't know.
I almost think that like being in jail for the rest of your life can be worse than getting the death sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I
I've
hope
always
it's
kind of
slow
felt
and
that way.
painful.
Yeah, slow and painful. And
blood
I hope you get
poisoning or
raped
something.
in the shower. And I mean,
Yeah.
not really, but kind of
Kinda.
like, you know, if you murder a bunch of people and you rape an 8-year-old girl, I'm
Absolutely.
okay with you getting
I
raped
also
in the
kind
shower.
of just want you to be in solitary confinement because that's like,
Yeah, make you go
like,
crazy.
yeah, I feel like that's like
Yep.
your own personal hell because you just have to sit there with your own thoughts.
Yep, I like that.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Oh,
How old is he
anyway.
now?
75?
75. Oh, so he might have a little while to go. 75 isn't that old.
I just want him to rot
Yeah.
from the inside out. Or from the outside in, whatever's painful.
Yep.
So anyway,
Man.
that's
This is a
my
good one.
crime,
yeah.
I like that one.
I mean,
I've
I
no-
don't
I-
like it,
but
but
it's interesting.
I can't believe I've never heard of it.
I can't believe that I just had this discussion a couple days ago.
Right,
Like, I had
that
never
part
heard of
freaks
it
me out.
either. Like, that's so crazy.
Super
Yeah.
creepy.
So, Taylor, what are we
What are you
going
guys
to
going
talk
to talk
about?
about?
So pop culture today.
Tell me about things.
I think it would be really fun if we talk about the very broad, age-old question.
Oh.
What do women want?
Cue Mel
Ooh.
Gibson.
Mel wants
I
to
actually
know.
loved that movie.
Oh,
It was
it's
a
so
great
good.
movie, but also if you rewatch it after you like really think about feminine,
grow up.
like feminism,
It's
you're
not
like,
that good?
It pisses
this
you
is
off.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years.
It's hard
Don't.
to watch, and then you're like, oh, why did I think that was funny? It's so sexist.
It is.
It's terrible.
It's
But
pretty bad.
yeah, but that's Mel.
I liked
Gibson
it
for
when
you.
I was
Good for its
younger.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we decided on this topic, and then I Googled some things, and I kept everything that I Googled about what women want. It
It's
was
all sexual.
about sex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sexual.
And like, I just don't want to talk
For the
about
record, we do want
I mean,
sex.
we'll like,
everyone wants
Everybody
sex.
kind
wants
of-
sex.
I feel like we'll kind of touch on that slightly, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think that the question of what women want
Touch
is
on it.
more about, you know, what do you want out of life? What do you want in a man? What do you want for yourself?
Your family life. and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and
it's more
dreams.
broad. It's more broad
What
than that.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
like-
very broad.
It's not about how big the penis is and
or how
you
to
know,
use it. And it's also
Motion of the ocean, baby.
there's also more than just like everything that I found about what do women want. It was like, what do women want in a relationship? And it's like women want more things than just a relationship.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like bring in any of those statistics.
So this
or
is more like
answers.
more of a discussion than a topic that we research because we are all women and
Yes,
we
we are.
we know what we want. So discussing that is going to be fun. I think.
When you say it's not just about a relationship, like that definitely made me think of kind of when, I was in kind of an abusive relationship, if I can say that now.
Of course you
And-
can say that now.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like it's weird when it's you. you
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
And getting over that and then healing from that and then realizing that it was so one-sided and it wasn't a relationship what I wanted after that. It was a partnership. It was a union and it was, an equal, like team. You wanted a team. You wanted a team player and somebody to be on your side and, to work with you and love you. And so I definitely discovered that after that relationship, the really bad relationship that I had. I discovered how I perceived relationships in a different way.
Yeah. That's funny that you say that because I literally have the exact same view. My first like real relationship, it was physically abusive.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards I had a pretty skewed version of what I wanted because I was like anything
Anything but that.
anywhere but like where I'm walking out into class with bruises on
Yeah.
my, whatever
Oh, that
is
makes me
better
sad.
than feeling like I'm,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's difficult to talk
I
about.
agree.
But I think all three of us, I know we say this every single podcast, but have found people who appreciate us for who we actually are. And I I know last episode we talked about insecurity, and that's one of the biggest things that comes out of my relationship with Sam, my husband, is at one point I was like, oh, do you wish that I like was a runner, I was good at sports, or that I was, all these things that I'm not. Like, I'm really not well coordinated, and I can't play tennis, and I'm not good on a bike.
Though.
But I like one
she can
day
bake
I
some
came to
brownies.
him. I'm a really good baker.
She's a really good baker.
I came to him and I was like, do you wish that I was good at these things? Because I feel insecure because I'm not. I can't do all these things. And he's like, listen, I love you just as you are. And I'm like, okay, good. And at that point in time, I think I knew that he was a different, human
breed
than I'm used to.
Yep.
Which helped me with,
getting over the past.
the past and realizing what I actually do want. And it is exactly what I have, which is really great. And not everyone can say that.
Yeah.
Along with that, I mean, my ex, that was awful. I just remember always feeling like I wasn't doing enough, or that I wasn't doing the right thing, that he knew better. And when I met Nathan, and he was just so supportive right off the bat. And even recently, very recently, we're married now. We don't have anyone to impress. He doesn't need to put lines on me or anything. And I told him recently that I wanted to change my career path. And I've been, pursuing music since I was 14. So for me, this was a huge deal, but he hasn't known me my entire life. But he did know that music is very important to me. But when I told him, I came to him and I was like, hey, so I'm just gonna change everything. I hope you're cool with it. He's like, hell yeah, babe. We should have thought of this sooner. Whatever makes you happy. Damn, yeah, hell yeah. And he was just, all this support. And I was just like, really? Could have had this long ago.
So I think support is a big thing that most women
want.
Enjoy. It's nice to have a support system, have someone who's okay with any direction you end up going in. It's not all about cars and money and, sex and the lifestyle.
Yeah, and I am just going to say that, when we say, what we're answering for what women want, we're just answering from our own perspectives.
Right.
So, if you are a guy out there listening, you should probably talk to the girl in your life to find out what she wants, because...
Ask.
Which reminds me, communication.
Yeah, communication
Women
is
want
really...
communication.
They need it.
And because we need to be heard, and we need to, have that communication, and we're talking from our own experiences and how we feel and as women and what we want, but we can't speak for all women because we aren't all women and everyone is so different. So I just wanted to say that too.
So everyone is different and everyone is attracted to different things. I know all of us have completely different types. So that's not necessarily what we're saying.
Yeah. And the three of us are totally different.
Completely.
If you guys haven't figured that out yet, we're
bizarre
all really
how
good
different
friends,
we are.
but all three of us are very different.
We're like the sister of the traveling pants.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm
like
that
us.
weird goth one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Lena, I think.
So confident.
Let me
about
be
it.
Lena.
I'm Lena.
Isn't she
Just
the
because
goth
she travels. No, she's the one that travels. She's Alexis Bledel.
Oh, yeah.
She travels
Okay.
and has
Degrees.
the
You have to
Falls
talk
in love
about,
with the
man
foreign man.
from far away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I be Blake Lively just because my husband wants to sleep with her?
She's really athletic.
Sure.
I can be. I used to be.
I know you're really competitive.
I'm all right with you being Blake
I'm not
Lively.
competitive. I am not competitive at all.
That's TT. Sorry.
Yeah, no. You are competitive. You can't argue with us. You know you are.
TT. It's in the Duke's blood to be competitive. God.
Okay, so I'm either Blake Lively or America Vergara.
Okay, so what we are is we're actually a
Ferrera?
mixture.
Is that what it is?
We're a mixture of two.
Who is that?
Listen, guys, we're a mixture of two of the Sister of the Traveling Pants women. So I am half Lena, half whoever the fuck, what's her name is.
Which
America
one?
Ferrera?
Oh,
No,
Blake
Lively,
'Cause
because she's competitive.
competitive.
But I'm not, we've already made
I'm
this
the
clear.
goth one in America.
I'm probably just America because
what's
I
the
have
other one?
I have a
'Cause-
crazy family, and I'm
There's 4.
There's a fourth one we're not even like recognizing.
no. I just talked
Oh,
about her.
Blake?
America for
America,
The goth one.
the goth one,
And Lena.
Lena, and Bridget. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Calm down.
I feel like I am
Everyone's
the one
included.
that like comes from like a crazy family and just wants to be loved.
Yep.
So I'm America,
And you're
even
just
though
like-
I
and
want
you
to
have
look
your-
like
America
Blake Lively.
and Blake Lively. You're both.
Only, yeah, but
But
I
she
don't-
like followed her dream as like being a writer,
Yeah.
and you're like following your dream of opening your own business.
Yep,
that is true. I did recently open my own
She
business.
did. She's a badass.
it's real exciting.
I'm
Shout
a
out to
boss
your
babe,
AV
hair artist.
hair artist page.
Follow me on the Insta. Shout out.
Shout out.
But that goes back to support. Like I told my husband, I'm like, hey, how do you feel about me quitting my job and starting my own business? And he was like, yeah, do it. And I was like, cool.
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 What do you want for dinner?
All right.
Cool. You want some spaghetti? That's cool. Let's do it.
That's Amanda's favorite food.
I do. I love spaghetti. We eat it too much. Carbs.
I love carbs.
But yeah, I think that
Is butter a carb?
No, butter's not.
no, butter's not a carb. You should eat all
It's
the butter.
from Mean Girls.
I know, and they say no, butter's not a carb.
Oh my god! I thought
Don't
you
yell
guys
at me.
just,
I'm
like-
continuing. I'm continuing the quote. I quote Mean Girls all the time. It is on my business cards.
Yep, that's
So
true.
you think you're like? Wait, what
It
is
says
it?
you're like
You're
really
like
pretty.
You're
really
like really pretty.
And you are really pretty. If you wanted to know, everyone out there, you are beautiful.
So pretty.
You're so pretty.
Where'd you get that skirt?
Women want to be told that we're pretty, even when we wake up with
Seriously.
mascara stains on our elbows.
Tell me I'm
and
pretty and snuggle me.
like we,
On our elbows.
yeah, you know, like from like sleeping
Oh, and like the
Shit,
inside
girl.
of the
on
arm.
the inside
she
of
just
your
did
elbow.
What is,
Okay.
I want to say
I sleep
diagram.
on my arm. I don't know.
I don't know what
I
I'm
like
saying.
Because your
Sometimes
eyes
put it out
can't
and
reach
put it
your
in.
elbow, so that would be next to
I
impossible.
can't
just
lick
wanna
my
say
elbow.
that
I'm
Amanda
the
can
only
lick
one.
her elbow.
Yep,
I've
I
seen
can.
it.
Yeah, I am the only one.
And then there's a video of all of us trying to do it. There's
I
like
can't do
6
it.
of us in your kitchen
I
trying
cannot.
to lick our elbows.
I have it. I should post it on the.
Can
should.
you lick your elbow, guys? Can you do that?
If
Send
you
us a video.
can, I need to know
Please.
because I think
Oh.
I'm the only one.
I think there's
Videos would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Please send us a
Please.
video of you
Please,
licking
yes.
your own elbow.
But we need communication. That is the one thing. Okay, so I personally will just put this out there. I am the man and my husband is the female in our relationship. And he knows this, and I tell him all the time because he wants to talk about his feelings, and he wants to talk about if I had a bad day, I just want to go home and have a beer and take a shower and like not talk about it and go to bed. And he's like, let's just talk about things.
So that being said, not all women are created the same way.
Correct.
So it's really difficult to answer this question.
Yeah, this is hard. This is a hard discussion to have. And so I hate communicating. I am not the person to communicate. I'm like, I live in my own world. I'm totally fine. Everything's great. Where he needs to communicate so that like he can feel stronger in our relationship. And it obviously like makes me feel better too to communicate. I'm
Yeah,
just so used
afterwards.
to like not doing that. And so he has made me into the person that I am now, which so terrible.
better person.
And I'm like, here, oh, fine, I'll tell you how I feel. And so I do believe that that is one of the key points of our relationship is communication. And I think that that's what has made us stronger. And I think that like everyone, whether you're a woman or not a woman, like you need to have communication.
Yes.
And even if you aren't willing to admit that you want to communicate, I think that that's definitely something that everybody needs in their life.
I mean, I've needed a push. I've
Yeah.
needed hard pushes. I mean, and bless Nathan for his patience. I mean, I really do. Patience. That's another thing women
Patience
need.
is nice.
Patience, yes.
Patience. I've needed it a lot.
And while none of us are single, so we can't really come from this like single point of view, which single version of me might be like, oh, maybe money would be really nice, and all these shallow ideals of what women want you know, that's hypothetically, and it's being spread all over. Like, because there are some women who need money and they need you to have a Lexus and they want you to
money. I think it's like if you have your shit together.
Anna
and
Nicole
if you
Smith, did she want money?
Yeah,
she definitely wanted money.
Some people want money.
It didn't matter
But
how old they were.
I do think that like if you don't have your shit together already, you should like be like you should know that you are on the way to having your shit together.
Yeah.
Because I think that comes with money, like knowing like, hey, this is okay, Mandy. I know that you're getting your shit together, so that's different.
No, it was more of just like I'm thinking. I was thinking about like if when I met my husband, you know, and he was like, oh, she's this like starving artist who is living paycheck to paycheck.
But you had dreams and you knew what you wanted, and he had his shit together.
He did. He is like the most
and
stable.
Still does.
Like my
He's
mom
very
jokes about it.
His shit is for sure
together.
Solid.
But you are the woman.
He's an adult.
And you wanted him to have his shit together.
Right, but I think that like going the other way, and I'm sure that he didn't want to get into a relationship with somebody who didn't have their, but also I can take care of myself.
For
you know
some
what I mean?
reason,
Yes.
I think that this is like a double standard, but I think women who don't have their shit together are a little more accepted than men who don't have their shit together. And I think that it's wrong.
Understood that like men are supposed to have their shit together. They are.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it, but Sam definitely has his shit together more than I have my shit together.
But it's
I
like
probably have my shit together more than Mark has his shit together.
You're right.
I mean, but he has a big boy job.
No. Yeah, but
To
I mean,
each
he's
their
an
own.
artist. Like he's like trying, like, and
being
You're,
an
like,
artist
in your element.
causes the shit to be not
So,
as
like,
together.
Yes, it really does.
and and not saying anything bad about my husband, but like he is like he's trying to like work towards being a famous musician, and so like it's different than.
No, I mean, literally, I am going from one artist career to a different artist career.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak
I know
about stability.
You didn't say it out loud, but I think explaining it to the people, artist as in musician, you were.
Yes. I came to Nashville at 18 years old, almost 8 years ago, as a singer-songwriter wanting to pursue the like classic artist songwriter dream. All of that kind of shifted, changed, and then I wanted to be a songwriter, and then, you know, it changes. Nashville changes you, and it changes your opinion on the music industry because it's constantly, you know, ebbing and flowing. But recently, I kind of went back to being an artist, like a painter and all that stuff. So I did that long before I did music, you know, professionally or publicly. So I kind of went backwards and went back to. So that's what I'm saying is when I go from artist to artist, I'm going from a music artist to my drawing and painting artist.
But more specifically,
I am pursuing tattooing as a career.
There you
yes,
go.
there you go. But I'm like, all right, come on,
Come on,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
just
yeah.
say
tell
it.
the people what they want to hear.
They want to hear it.
Give the people what they want, and y'all want tattoos
Be more
soon,
specific.
right?
Now, not what women want. What does our audience want? They want to
Yes,
know.
they wanna know.
specifics.
Sorry,
It's
still new. It's still brand new.
Yeah, she's still
Early
like,
stages.
But it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
what else do women want? What do we want as women?
I know.
Respect.
Respect is
Food.
good.
Oh.
Food is great. But getting to the sexual thing, I think.
Oh no, here I go. Now I'm gonna be awkward.
Why?
My face is gonna get red.
Don't let it get red.
I'm getting hot.
I literally, when I did my research, all of quote unquote what women want came up as like a sexual thing. Like, what do they want in the bedroom, or what, you know? And I think it's a little ridiculous that that's all you can find when you Google what women want. But
Maybe
I
that's
also,
the number one question that men ask.
Like,
Or like, what do women want in the,
cosmopolitan
in the
artist.
bathroom?
It's what
is what
men
I was about
want to
say
know.
In the bedroom.
That
It's
was
what
a
men
bunch
are
of
asking.
Shit that we just said out loud.
I think I missed all of it.
It was all just a mess.
Yeah, don't
That
worry
wasn't like
about it.
a
Just
full
keep
thought
going.
in that entire clusterfuck of a situation.
It's fine.
We both
It's
just had
fine.
half sentences.
Let's
okay,
keep
go
going.
ahead. TT, you have a complete thought.
Sex.
Sex. I think this is what people want to hear, but men will say, "Oh, does she want a bigger no. I don't think that
Penis.
that's necessarily
Why are you editing?
the case.
We say
feel
the
like-
F word. You can say
Listen,
the peen.
I'm telling you, my parents listen to this podcast, and it's very strange talking about this type of thing.
You're married now. It's okay.
You're also old enough.
I know.
I didn't want to
But
say your age
also-
because now it's like
Your
a
mom's
thing.
gonna agree with you. She's gonna be like, "Yeah,
This is weird.
This
Okay,
is what I like."
let's keep going.
This
but
is weird.
I think the common misconception is that size and girth and, you know.
It's a joke. I think it's all just a
girth.
But you know
You
what?
said girth.
Men take it to heart. Men take it to heart and think that it's true.
Well, men, get your shit together. It means nothing. Well, I mean, it means
I
something,
mean, it
but
does
like,
mean. I mean, ooh,
you
cheers.
don't need a gargantuan penis to get you a woman or a man, whatever you want.
I
Like-
will say, okay, this is something that I personally feel, and I'm just going to put this out there as myself, a woman. I want men to realize that porn is not real life.
That's
it's
correct.
not the way things work.
That is correct. 100%.
And like, so if you want to know how I want to have sex, and as a woman, it is not how porn like portrays it.
Yep.
If you want to know that, look up lesbian porn.
Well,
I mean, just porn
I'm
in
just
general,
saying, like,
but it's
like
still like raunchy.
they know.
Like,
Yeah, that's
like-
true.
and it's to the point where it's like unnecessary sounds.
yes.
That's true.
So
But what I'm
my
saying
thing
is, like-
is that like I personally want men to realize that porn is not real life, and if you want to have enjoyable sex with a woman, you need to be in the moment, and you need to like understand, like have communication. Go
Yeah.
back to like all of the like things that we've already talked about. Have respect, have communication.
Like, what do
have,
you like? What do you need
You're
from me?
never
You
gonna
know,
have
like-
good sex with someone unless you talk about it.
Right.
Like, what
Well-
do you like? What do you want? Like,
What don't you like? Because that's a
everybody,
big
thing.
yeah,
That is a
everybody
thing.
likes different
Yes.
things, and so like I'm sure that all three of us enjoy different sex because we all are so different, and like there's
Yeah.
different things that like we want as women. So I think that you need to talk to whoever you're having sex with and discuss it. It's like
I think it's a bigger deal to find out that from women because men, and I'm not saying this like
they think that they
as
know
a blanket
everything.
statement, but like it's been known that like men, you know, during sex, like just get their shit done, and then like they think that that's
Enjoyable
it.
for us.
And then you're like, but there's other things to do. There's other things
But
that
wait,
should
there's
be
more.
done. But
There's
wait,
more.
there's more.
But
For the
there-
price of $49.99.
there's so many things that that come with sex that like you need to focus on, and it's not just
communication
like
is the
I think that
biggest.
communication is key because some people like certain things more than other people. And are we gonna get raunchy on this real quick or no?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Some women can be stimulated by just having like sex, and
Yes.
some women cannot. Some women need more than that, and I think that having that discussion to find out which type of woman you're with,
You need to
so
talk
that you
about
both
it.
are happy,
Yeah. Yes.
is figuring that out. Like who needs more than just sex, and who needs less.
And
than
there
that.
are
Like,
women who will like make you think that you're giving them what they need. And
Because
those are the
that's what,
women who
like-
need to, you know,
But
Stop
that's what
be
we
a little
see.
more vocal.
Like literally
about
in the
what
movies, you
it
see
is.
like them rolling around in the sheets, and then all of a sudden they both finish at the same time, and they're just breathing heavy, and they're like, "Wow, that was great." It's like that. Like, where's the cleanup? I'm sorry, but like, you know, your hair is still great. That's wrong.
your makeup looks
Your
awesome.
makeup is still on your face. That's wrong. You know, like all of this is wrong, and like we're
programmed.
to think that that's what's supposed to happen, and that's not true. Like we deserve just as much enjoyment out of sex that men do.
And I think that having that discussion, but having it with the person that you are having sex with is so much better than just talking about it with your friends.
Yes,
Because I think
it's
that
not going to get solved unless
no,
you
like
do.
I think human nature is to like talk about it with your guy friends, talk about it with your girlfriends, and be like, oh, so this happened. Like I wish that he would do this, or oh, I wish that she would do this, or like but why can't you just talk about it
To them.
to each other, and then we would never have a
Because
problem.
Lord knows
He
that
does.
he's telling you what he wants.
Correct.
So
Oh,
why
yes.
aren't you telling him
Or
what
just
you
showing
want?
you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So that is my biggest.
Be vocal.
Yeah.
Have communication.
Let's just be like,
Be
confident
patient.
and
Be confident. That's
Ooh,
really good.
confidence.
because
My husband has told me
we deserve that.
that is the number one thing that is attractive
yeah.
about me to him is my
Confidence.
confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that that's really attractive in a man is confidence, but not arrogance.
No, just
Confidence.
comfortable in your own skin.
Yes, be like comfortable with who you are as a
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
and that's something that I, as a woman, am
I struggle with
attracted
it, so
to.
That's something I need to. I know that I need to like self-reflect on and be like, I need to consciously make an effort to like tell myself that like, yeah, I'm beautiful, I'm sexy, I can
Yeah.
do this, like I can go up to this person and like introduce myself, like, you know, all this stuff, like I can be a businesswoman, I can sell myself for my art, like, you know, I can do that, and you know, that's something that I need to work on. So
I also just really quickly want to say that the number one thing that I am attracted to is my husband makes me laugh. And
Humor.
that, like,
Humor's big.
that is like
women
the
want
most
humor.
like I
not
want
all
to
women.
laugh. Like I just want to like enjoy my time around you, and
Yes.
like he makes me laugh more than anyone, and like sometimes it's because he's actually funny, and sometimes it's because he thinks that he's funnier than he is, and like but that's what makes me happy. And like, and you want to know what women want? Like I want to be happy, and I want like, and that makes me happy. So I think that like finding what makes her happy is
Yeah, what makes
like,
her giggle. And
yeah, like whether it's being stupid and silly, or like Mark sings stupid songs about things all the time, and he like
She's smiling and it's so cute right now.
because it's funny. It's like my favorite
Aw.
thing. He like makes up songs. Like he makes parodies of songs that are the dumbest thing ever, but like they make me laugh all the time.
Yeah.
Or like little things that he does. Like, and he's so into dad jokes.
Oh, he's
very
a father.
good at dad jokes.
He is
yeah,
a father.
and he's not
He's
even a
he's
dad.
father.
Like he's not a dad yet, and he's such a
But he
father.
is. You know?
He's gonna
but
be
like
such a good dad.
with his dad jokes,
Got all the jokes ready.
so like things like that, like that's something that I as a woman want, is someone that makes me laugh, because
Agreed.
I want to be happy, and that makes me happy is like laughing a lot.
What makes you guys happy? What do you want? Our women listeners,
us.
what do you want? Our men listeners, what do you think women want? We'd like to hear from you.
I
Or
know.
if
It-
you're
it'd
like
be really
taking notes right
interesting.
now, I mean, tell us
like
something
what
that
did
we've
we
helped you with.
Yeah,
or
what did we
something.
teach you? If we
Yeah, 'cause
taught you
we're
anything.
Or if you
so
think we're just full
smart.
of bullshit, just tell us that too.
We're also
We're
we don't even
probably
care.
half and half.
we're also real into this
honestly.
wine right now, so who knows what we're even talking
Thanks
about.
again, Haley. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, for the Paranoia wine, it's a cab from California.
Please, if you enjoy our show,
Our show,
we plead with you.
please.
So
We'd love to
serious.
see your ratings because you know, help me,
Help.
I know that a lot of you are listening. We see the numbers, but we aren't seeing the ratings, and we'd really like to hear from you.
Yes.
Some feedback, yo.
It helps us, and it helps our next episode be just as good, if not better, than the last. So let
We're
us
here
know
for
what you
you.
think.
We're here for all
And
of it.
also, we, like I said before, or like we've all said before, we're open to topics. So if you have anything that you
Yes.
want us to talk about, because we just we either like get a topic from a sponsor, or we just come up with ideas. So if you have something more that you're like, oh, I really am interested in this topic, but I don't really feel like researching it, or you would love to hear us talk about it with each other,
Tweet us,
I feel
yes,
like you
do all of the things to get it to us so that we can talk about it for you.
At Pop Crime and Wine, or if you're emailing us, popcrimewine@gmail.com.
Yes.
Thanks, y'all.
It's been fun.
It's been real fun. I actually have enjoyed this.
It's been a good
All of the
conversation.
things. I don't normally enjoy
It's very-
it, but I've enjoyed
Normally
it
it's just
tonight.
like a job.
This week has been a little more off the cuff, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Normally,
I
we,
enjoy
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Normally,
it's fun.
we actually research our topic instead of being like, "Hey,
but this
we came
time
up with this, and
we were
want
like,
to talk about
we're
it."
women, so we
We
know,
know what
Probably
women
know,
want.
yeah.
We should kind of know what women want.
We're at least 3 women out of the world.
Yeah, so we can speak for everyone.
Yes. Being facetious, by the way.
No, but not really.
But we appreciate you.
Yeah, we're here for you.
We love you, and we want you to know
you.
we love you.
yeah, that what they're saying.
I think it's time for bed.
It is.
Yeah, I'm tired.
It's been real, and it's
Yes.
been fun, and it has been real fun.
It
It's been
actually
real
has,
fun.
yeah,
but
yeah.
we will
see
see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Super fast.
I did what?
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. That's me.